Are you looking for the best laptop? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best laptop on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Apple MacBook Pro 14 M2 2023. The best laptop we've tested is the Apple MacBook Pro 14 M2 2023. This premium mobile workstation has a sturdy build, plenty of processing horsepower for demanding tasks, and all-day battery life. It also provides an excellent user experience with its sharp 120Hz mini LED display, spacious keyboard, and gigantic, easy-to-use touchpad. The speakers are among the best on the market, the same goes for the webcam. The display has full DCI-P3 coverage and superb factory calibration, making it suitable for color-critical work like video editing. Ports include 3 USB-C/Thunderbolt 4s, an HDMI, a full-size SD card reader, and a high-output 3.5mm headphone jack. If you want more screen space and don't mind paying more, you can get the Apple MacBook Pro 16 2023. It's the same device but with better-sounding speakers and a slightly longer battery life. Just so you know, Apple has released new MacBook Pros with its M3 SoC. The new chips are faster and more power-efficient, bringing new features like ray tracing and increased memory support up to 128GB. Both sizes look identical to their predecessors design-wise, though there's a new space black color. Apple no longer sells the M2 models on its website, so it's best to get an M3 model unless you can find the M2 on sale elsewhere. See our review of the Apple MacBook Pro 16 M3 2023. Number 2. Apple MacBook Air 13 2022. If you only need a laptop for light tasks like text processing, web browsing, and video playback, get the Apple MacBook Air 13 2022, instead, one of the best laptops for home use we've tested. Replacing the very popular Apple MacBook Air 13 M1 2020, this M2 model has a fresh new design, a better 1080p webcam, and a more powerful M2 SoC. The main drawback is its subpar port selection, as it's still limited to 2 USB-C/Thunderbolt 3 ports with support for one external display only, although the new MagSafe charging port frees up the USB-C you would otherwise use for charging. A larger alternative would be the newly released Apple MacBook Air 15 2023. It's the same laptop as the 13-inch MacBook Air but with a 15.3-inch display and better speakers. The larger display makes multitasking easier, and you get more room on the keyboard deck to rest your wrist. Also, unlike the 13-inch model, you get an M2 chip with 10 GPU cores without upgrading to the more expensive model with a larger 512GB SSD. This all comes with a price increase of $200 over the 13-inch model. For Windows users, get the LG Gram 14 2023. Weighing only 2.1 pounds, this 14-inch ultra-portable is even lighter than the Apple MacBook Air 13. It has a nice sharp display, a tactile keyboard, and a wide port selection that includes 2 USB-C/Thunderbolt 4s, allowing you to connect up to 2 4K displays at 60 Hz with a single cable. The main downsides are that it has a smaller touchpad and a dimmer display. Number 3. Acer Swift 314 2020. The best budget laptop we've tested is the Acer Swift 314 2020. Acer's Swift models aren't exactly considered budget and are usually more expensive. However, this is an older model from 2020, so the price has decreased considerably, making it a great value. You can get it with an Intel 11th Gen Core i5 or i7 CPU and up to 16GB of memory and 512GB of storage. The Intel 11th Gen CPUs are a few years old but fast enough for general productivity tasks. The battery also lasts over 13 hours on a full charge. It has a nice FHD IPS display, a decent keyboard, and a wide port selection, including 2 USBs, 1 USB-C/Thunderbolt 4, a full-size HDMI, and a headphone jack. The webcam is our only major complaint, its exposure is too low, and the microphone sounds staticky. Number 4. Microsoft Surface Pro 8 2021. The best 2-in-1 tablet we've tested is the Microsoft Surface Pro 8 2021. This versatile tablet form factor makes the Surface Pro one of the best laptops for home use. You can detach the keyboard to make it easier to hold or save space, like on a kitchen counter, and pop it back on when you need to type something out. Its 3:2 display looks sharp, gets bright enough to combat glare, and has a 120 Hz refresh rate to make pen input feel more responsive. Above the display sits an excellent 1080p webcam and a Windows Hello IR camera for quick logins. The keyboard feels good to type on, although you need to buy it separately, and the same goes for the stylus. The battery lasts only around 7 hours of light use, but luckily, the power adapter is fairly compact, and you can also charge via its USB-C/Thunderbolt 4 ports. As this is a model from 2021, there's already a newer version, the Surface Pro 9. It's essentially the same device but with faster Intel 12th Gen processors. The Surface Pro 9 is easier to find, but if you don't need the performance increase, you can save a good chunk of cash with the Surface Pro 8 since it's an older device and often on sale. See the Surface Pro 9 on Amazon here. Number 5. Asus TUF-F15, 2022. For those on a tighter budget, consider the Asus TUF-F15, 2022. This 15.6-inch model is available with an Intel 12th Gen Core i5 or i7 CPU paired with an NVIDIA 30 series discrete GPU, up to an RTX 3070. These last-generation CPUs and GPUs provide smooth gameplay. The downside is that you don't get frame generation, a frame rate boosting feature only on the newer NVIDIA 40 series GPUs. Both the RAM and storage drive are user replaceable, so if you're on a strict budget, you can get a cheaper configuration to start and upgrade later. You have 3 options for the display, two 1080p, 144 Hz or 300 Hz, and a 1440p 165 Hz panel. Unfortunately, none of them support VRR to reduce screen tearing. Ports include 2 USBs, 2 USB-C/Thunderbolt 4s, an HDMI, and an Ethernet port. Thermal throttling is minimal, but the laptop gets hot and loud. This laptop isn't overly bulky or heavy, so it's fairly portable, but you'll have to bring the charger because the battery lasts only a little over an hour when gaming.